Hello, hello! Welcome to Actors Anonymous Podcast. I'm your host, Wissam Kish. Co-hosting with me, as always, Jordan Burbank. How you doing, man?
Still alive.
Still alive. I like your green sport sweater. That's green and gray. Are you flexing?
Are you telling me there's a video too that can?
I know. I'm doing it for the listeners who
Where's
can't.
this from? Is it like Old Navy or something?
It says Old Navy. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know that. I just guessed.
That is slightly impressive.
Thank you.
Our wonderful guest today with us is Jessica Marie Garcia.
Yes, hello.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
You might know Jessica from recurring roles on Liv and Maddie and The Middle, and also the television series Huge.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for coming on. I
Oh my
said
God,
it twice
thank
now.
you for having me. Can I just note that I have this sweater?
Really?
Yes, the exact same sweater.
Thank God we didn't wear it
I
at the
know.
same
I
time.
thought that as soon as you walked in, I was like,
That's
that was
amazing.
actually an option that I gave
I
myself.
believe this is a male
I-
shirt.
It says mine's a little different. It says Boston on it, so I
Oh,
think
okay.
that might
Well,
be a
yours
difference.
better than
but
mine already. Then.
It's fancy.
Are you from Boston?
No, my boyfriend is, and now I'm obsessed with everything Boston.
This one.
Yeah, you too?
Nicole's from Boston.
Oh, really? Where?
Suburbs.
Oh, that's awesome. Sorry. Bruins won today. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I like Dunkin' Donuts a lot.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And they should open one in North Hollywood. I'm
I
just
know.
saying.
Let's do it.
I've tweeted at them. They haven't responded back, guys.
They're
They haven't
busy.
responded back. They're busy, but
They
I'm
have
a
really
little
fresh
upset.
donuts
That's
all
so
the time.
rude.
Our theme today.
I took this on a turn.
No, it's fine. Auditioning. You know, we have some similarities. We are both, we've had some recurring roles on television shows, and we're currently working on television shows that is recurring. And I feel like our perspective on the audition process has changed a little bit, and I feel we've learned a lot of things. And I've wanted to, I took this article from Backstage Experts, 21 Things That Make Casting Directors Happy in the Audition Room.
Ooh, I love that.
It's by Risa Bramon Garcia. Same last name. I know it's a very common last name. Probably not related. I'm just saying.
It's my ghostwriting
I just,
name.
that was a good TV show in the 90s. Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Ryder.
No,
Not
there's
Writer.
Writer.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost
right?
Ghost
On
Rider.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, with
Oh.
the little...
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, they
We
solve
got it.
mysteries.
Yeah.
Fail.
Please.
Oh,
Hey.
I do know what you're talking about. Actually, I do kind of, but
So here are here are the 21 things that make casting directors happy in the audition room. Number 1, accept the invitation with grace and enthusiasm. You were requested to be here as our guest. We can comment if we want after each one. We don't have to. I'll just go through.
I mean, that's
Oh, we're
true.
going through all
Oh.
21.
That's true. I want to say that's very true. I
That
think you
is
should
true.
be really respectful when you get an audition. A lot of people don't get them.
Yeah.
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 I feel it's also.
It's half the battle to get an
Yeah, you
audition.
shouldn't feel entitled when you go in there.
No,
They're-
no.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's sad that that has to be the number one thing
Right.
that's being said. Number 2, come to work and not to please or get our approval. Come to work.
That's hard.
You know?
That's hard.
That
I'm
is.
not
That's
gonna tell-
something-
As an actor, that's so hard.
Yeah.
Those jitters, you're like,
Oh my God. I'm like, please like me. Please think that I'm like really talented. Oh yeah. It's hard.
You know what? I think you're going to provide that with the first, like, hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? Good. And then that's it. If,
diffuse it.
Well, you shouldn't say good. You should say, you have to stick out. You have to say like, great. This is the best day of my life.
well,
Thank
then
you for
now people are
having
going
me."
to say great. So what are they?
Well, I wouldn't say great either. I mean, get a thesaurus.
Go
I'm not going
big.
to give my secrets away.
Fucking fabulous.
Don't
F
say that.
words back
Well,
to back.
yeah, you got to stand out a little bit.
Number 3, enter with certainty. Don't give up your power as soon as the door opens. Number 4, play on a level playing field. We're all figuring it out together. Number 5, make no excuses whatsoever. Leave your baggage outside, better yet, at home. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. It's difficult to do sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, especially living in
personal
LA,
Yeah.
trying to drive here, making sure you're on time, making sure
Yeah.
traffic
Yeah.
isn't crazy. You know exactly where it is. There's never parking. You're having the worst day ever, and then you have to go in and have the best day of your life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so not easy.
Save it for your therapist. Or
Yeah,
your friend,
absolutely.
Or
You
your,
have
or your
to.
significant other.
And
That's
even-
part of your job to be able to turn it on and turn it off.
And not just like verbally, but like just emotionally and verbally, because no one wants to walk in and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm late, my car broke
Oh,
down."
you
And
should.
I
That's the greatest thing I've ever learned from anyone in casting. Has always told me never to apologize.
Yeah.
Never to apologize. And I remember I didn't realize I did that until going into an audition. The first thing they were like, "Oh, can you sit here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry." Like, you know what I mean? Like, what?
I'm not sorry.
It's hard,
Yeah.
but it's true. You should
Yeah.
never.
Number 7, ask questions only when you truly need answers. Do you have questions is usually another way of saying, are you ready? You aren't required to have one. I actually just was in an audition Friday, and I was asking, I usually don't have questions, but then I was like, how do you pronounce this name? And he gave me a really interesting answer. He's like, just be confident in the way you say it.
Ah,
And I was like,
Interesting.
all right. And I was just like, okay, that's fair.
that was, I don't know.
Maybe maybe he doesn't know, but maybe just like say it.
See, I get nervous that people are going to think that you should have known how to pronounce that. Like, I always
Yeah.
get nervous if especially if a show that's been on for a long time and I have an audition and it's a person's name, I will go on every YouTube, anything to find out if
Oh,
somebody
like
has said it.
pronunciation-
Because then I feel like it's
pronunciation.
kind of a slap in the face. Oh, you don't know our show? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's important that you have to watch the show that you're auditioning for if it's
Yeah.
already been on. I mean, you're given a gift.
That's
with that.
that's a little bit of the homework. I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're auditioning for Disney Channel, it's a little bit different if you're for an NBC comedy
Oh, yeah.
or NBC drama or something else, you know, or TNT.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. And the writers and the producers, I usually like to look at the writer's line of work and what the director has directed, because then you can kind of get a tone.
Sometimes that terrifies me, though.
Well, you
Oh,
know,
really?
Like, if I don't recognize a name right away and then I audition for something and I'm like, oh, it went really well. Like, you know, I didn't research too much on who they were, just
Yeah.
on the character. And then they're like, oh, do you know it's this person and they're directing this and they're producing this? And I'm like, oh my God, I would have been terrified if I walked into the room knowing that. So it's kind of like I pick and choose what I think
yeah.
Right.
Well,
when to do that.
who was it? Gary Marsh talked about
Gary
a while ago. He came on, and I guess there's a new service that Actor Breakdown Services is providing, where you actually get background on all of the casting directors that you are going out for. So you can actually look up their past projects. And he mentioned that a little bit, going into depth about it. But it was so true when he said, when you walk into that room, like, build that rapport with that person. Because if you can be like, I loved your work on this, and this is really good. Like, he said that majority of casting directors are generally people who attempted to be actors. So for them to have to go into an audition and meet every single actor who are talking about themselves, you can also sort of not like don't have like a full like 2-hour conversation with them, but like just a short thing that shows that you know what they do. It gives them a feeling that they can talk about themselves too,
Yeah.
to make them feel important as well. And then you
That's
have
fair.
that rapport that you can go back and audition for those people too.
I like that.
I like that
Yeah.
too. That's good to know.
Number 8, know your words and understand what you're talking about. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be totally off book, but if you've spent quality time with the material, you're going to know it. You know what? I'm a firm believer of just if you can be off book, be off book.
Absolutely, 110%.
I don't like having the script in my hand.
I feel like you can't do anything.
I'm the same
what's
way.
your character if you have a piece of paper in your hand that you're stuck to?
Yeah.
And you know, I find times where I've booked roles where I'm a little off the page, but I'm so into it. I mean, it's just like a couple words or whatever you're switching.
Right.
They don't care if the performance is there, but when you're like this,
That's different.
just looking down at it, you can't see your face. Like they call me Reactions Garcia. Like that's half of it. Like you were saying, listen. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most important thing.
Yeah.
Well, when you go into an audition with, like, you have to know everything on the page, but when you go in there, it's not just about memorization. It's about taking a direction with it, too, when you go in there, right? And
Oh, yeah.
being able to also, I guess you have to really be confident in those words and do a lot of research, because if you go in there with, like, this, he or she or whatever, they're aggressive, they're trying to get what they want from the scene, and you go in there and they're like, can we try it where it's, like, you actually feeling a little bit, like, needy or whatever? Like, you have to switch that over, so you need to be really confident with not just the words, but how you're going to deliver it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that it also comes into play whenever if you get coached on something, or if you have roommates that can help you out with reading. A lot of times that can help too. Like
Yeah.
you get your practice in to
Oh
switching
yeah,
on the fly.
and ask them, for input and say, like,
Yeah.
if you had to change it. For me, I always rehearse things a little bit bigger, especially if I'm doing a comedy, so I know that I can be brought down a little bit.
Yeah.
Great.
Because it's so much easier to be brought back to reality than being this like big, large character.
Yeah. Do your homework on the project, number 9. This includes knowing
9
all the
through
players in
21.
the show and the film's tone and style. Read all the materials you can get your hands on. Number 10, make choices and take responsibility for the choices you make. Not saying, sorry, this is what I've chosen, I'm proud of it. Number 11, don't apologize, ever.
Yes.
for
Oh, good. I'm
anything.
glad that's on there.
Yeah.
I did write this.
Number 12, know what you want to do and do it. Then leave yourself available to make discoveries. Know what your homework is done. Now let your preparation meet the moments. This is exactly
See,
like
we're jumping ahead of the gun.
this is amazing. We
Right?
like this is how we know it's true because you haven't read this, have you?
No.
No.
I should have read it. I'm sorry. It's been a
No,
stressful
it's
week.
but it just
He
goes
just
to show you-
emailed it to you a week ago, but
No, but it goes to show you like what is on here is definitely applicable. Applicable.
I like that.
Applicable.
Don't expect to be directed, but if you are, take the direction, no matter what it is. Understand how to translate results-oriented direction into action. I don't think I.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than someone who's just like, and that's how it's done. You're like, could you just do it a little bit, softer? And that's how it's done. And you're like,
World of
thanks.
difference.
We'll let you know. Like from the other perspective, it's like
And that's so hard too. And I think I find that with a lot of actors who rehearse and memorize their lines with a certain action already, and then they're so stuck in it that they can't change it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Don't be so mesmerized. Wow, memorized that you can't make a choice in the room. That
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
especially if there's direction that comes involved with when you walk in there. Like, oh, could you actually do this? Walking this way.
I
or-
actually have a question for that because I got an audition where they wanted to have like a mini slap fight. Now, would you go in doing a little mini slap fight where you were acting it out, or would you just skip on? Because I heard somebody skip on, and I was like, no, if I'm going to give the opportunity to do a little mini slap fight with myself, I'm going to do it. I mean, what would you do?
Was it with another person?
No, well, it was supposed to be, but obviously, like, it was just you in the audition. You weren't slapping the casting person.
I would just
But
like go 1, 2.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. But there was supposed to be a break because you're supposed to hear something while you're slapping. You're like, wait, what was that? Like, so it needed to have some kind of intensity for me to feel
Yeah.
like I
Did
could.
you,
Oh, I
thrash
haven't.
around.
I did because it was like it was for a
love it.
big comedy, so I kind of went for it. But I was
Yeah.
wondering, like, do people typically do that?
I would think,
Yeah.
as far as like
Right?
thinking about from a casting perspective, was like I would probably want to see someone doing that because it's like they have the imagination to go for it, and I feel like that would be a better
I'm
perspective.
expecting a
Plus for
callback
a
then.
If at any point you want to slap me in this session,
I'll
go
show you.
for
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Plus
Unexpected.
for comedy, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I want to see somebody just go, like, in the middle of talking, and you're like, yeah, so this is what I did yesterday. Ah! Not like
Again,
that
being
bad.
big and then bringing it down if you need to. But
Right.
it's important for them to know that you'll do it,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Don't blame the reader. Make the reader the star of your audition.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Who blames the reader? What actor ever goes, well, that reader really ruined that audition for me?
Can I make us have? I
Wait,
have a
did you
story.
blame the
Ooh.
read
This is what happened.
We
and I should have
Oh
said
my God.
We
something.
Sam wrote these.
Oh, God. Okay.
I had a reader who was mouthing my words that I was
Oh.
while I was saying them,
Ooh.
and that
See, I've
threw
never
me off.
had that. I didn't know that was the thing that
And I
happened.
should have said something like, "I'm so sorry." I should have said, "You're mouthing the words. Could you not?" But I didn't say it, so I just tried to like, "Stop it! It's driving me crazy." Yeah. And I think in that instance,
I'm sorry. I've never had that happen. So
Really?
I apologize. But this is an audition. I'm so sorry
That's okay.
that happened to you. But that's not okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Things happen.
Did you actually say anything in like?
No, I
Oh.
wish I would have said like,
You're just,
"I'm
like,
so
secretly
sorry,
being
but
like-
I think you're mouthing the words to what I'm saying."
Do you think they just didn't like? They were like, I don't want him to get it.
No, they were enthusiastic. They liked me a lot, so they were like this. Like,
Oh,
And-
but
and
you
you know what
can't
I mean?
connect with that.
yeah, and so I'm like,
I
"What are
wonder-
you doing?"
That could be one. There are people that just do that. There are
Yes.
people who just like. And you're just
I have a
like,
cousin who does that
oh.
in just regular conversation.
Really?
That's
Yeah, I love him to death, but-
One, that's got to be very frustrating for the person who has
Is he
it.
guessing what you're saying?
But
No, he's just.
there's no lines. He's just trying to.
We love each other. I mean, we rarely get to see each other, and so we get super excited whenever we're around each other. If you're listening to this, Jordan is mouthing everything I'm saying.
Everything
right now,
to
and I'm looking
perfection.
away because I.
Oh
All right,
my
I'll stop, I'll stop.
gosh.
But
That's great.
I also think like now I
My
forgot my
cheeks
point. I forgot
Good.
mine too because I've been mouthing everything you're saying. But no, I was gonna say that it's got to be frustrating for that person, but that could also be if they're not experienced with reading, they might be trying to make sure that they do their line on time for you.
Possible. My situation was not like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
And they're just a dick.
yeah.
they're not a dick.
No,
they
they,
were just. I
wanted.
don't. Yeah,
I get it. They really wanted you to get in. They were scared you wouldn't know it. But that's. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not helpful.
that's a totally throw off. It's like somebody in a hot dog. Literally, it was that distracting. Like somebody in a hot dog costume behind the reader, and I just kept looking at them. Yeah. That's how bad it was
Oh
for
my
me.
god! I would be like, I'm sorry, are you trying to tell me something? Oh no, can you not?
Can we
do
sketch that out? Like an audition with a hot dog dude? Just like,
But no one else sees it except for the audition.
Yes,
Like
it's
you're
not
like, what
really
are you talking
there.
about?
do you guys see the hot dog? Do you
Stand
not
on
see
your
him?
mark.
It could be a meth commercial.
Slate for
Is that
me.
what we're doing?
Going for it. Back to the list.
Number 16. Make specific, personal, bold choices. We want your unique voice to bring the script to life. I'm a firm believer. I like that part. We want your unique voice to bring the script to life. I think that's so essential. You are your best selling point. You. Your choices. Nobody else is going to make them but you. 17. Stillness is powerful. Understand how to move and work in front of the camera. Eliminate running in and out and getting up and down. I also think that's part of pacing, and I think we talked about it on the last episode. Pacing is so crucial for an actor to understand it, to master it for each individual scene, because then whenever you have that pause, you can really bring the listener in. You see what I did there,
Oh, I
guys?
love that. I hung
I
on
was
every
so
word.
enthralled by that.
He couldn't even mouth the words to that because it was so beautiful.
I looked at Nicole,
like-
and Nicole was just like shaking her head. She
No.
was like, this
Well,
douche.
But I
Actually,
think that's, I'm sorry, but
No,
that's
you
a
go.
really good question to
Yes.
ask if you have to ask a casting director when you're at an audition is ask what, how much room you have to play with if it's an
Yes.
audition where you have a lot of movement that you want to show.
Yeah.
That's a question that
But
it
don't-
matters to ask.
Don't do that thing where you're like, oh no, don't apologize to me. I should be apologizing to you. I'm
That's
sorry.
true.
I'm so sorry. Don't do that thing. Like, it sort of goes back to last week's episode where we were saying, the actor needs to be the nourisher of that character, needs to be the one that can, when the director is not available to make those choices, that's why that's why they hire the actor, because they know they're perfect for that role. But I also think that if you're going in there, like, dedicate to either standing still, having a specific action, do not do the back and forth,
Yes. Yeah.
pacey thing. Like, that's the word on camera, especially if they're filming you. No one's gonna pick you.
That's something that goes back to training, though, I feel like, and practicing on your craft. And if you're not going out and auditioning and you're brand new here, or you've been here for a while and you haven't really auditioned a lot, put yourself on tape, and just for fun, and just look at the tape that you've given and you go, ooh, I do that?
Yeah, it's the biggest learning experience. I have had issues with that because I'm a swayer.
Yes.
But ever since when I started doing theater in middle school, I was taught to stand still and how to be aware of that without being too aware of it. But I'm a swayer, and I love to do this.
Yeah.
Which is never good.
No.
But I think that I'm compensating or showing, especially for a lack of energy. I feel like I have to fill that in with something, and I end up moving weirdly.
Theater background?
Yes.
You're
Yeah,
doing a
same
really
here.
dramatic scene, like.
Oh no,
in
not
your chair.
with that. But I get a little, Latina,
Yeah.
and there's some head bobbing going on.
I from theater background, I love using my hands, and you can't do that on camera a lot at all. Excuse me, I just had a burp. That was weird.
that.
That was weird. That was theatrical. I had a burp.
Gassy moment.
That was such a weird moment.
We can make it into a musical.
Number 18. We're almost done with the list.
18. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
21. Not
Legal,
bad. We got
legal
through.
age. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm gonna look
What?
18.
This is a list. Require no stroking, coddling,
Sorry.
or love. We're there to work. Don't take it personal when we're not touchy-feely. Know that we love actors, and that's truly why we're here. I'm sure they're saying, hey, oh, you did a great job, honey, and that kind of stuff. They're seeing 20 people.
Yeah.
They need to get you in and out of there. So don't take it personally, guys.
Yeah. But it is the best feeling ever when a casting director comes out and is like, hi, and gives you a hug, and you're
Yes.
like, yes. I
Yeah.
can calm
You're
down
looking at
already.
everybody else, you're like, yeah, I'm hugging them.
Oh, because I remember when I started and I was I would see casting directors do that to other people, and I was like, I want that. Because you just completely psyched out everybody in that room.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the shakes happen.
Like,
and
go
I'm
home,
"Ugh."
bitches.
Exactly. I do that whenever somebody gives me a hug. I'm like, ha.
I want to make a footnote. I want to go back to that. The shakes.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that.
Please.
The shakes?
Yeah.
Oh, the
the jitters. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the actual nervousness
Like
of in the room.
Drink
Yeah, I would love
shakes. The
You're
shakes.
talking to the right person for that.
I feel like we've had a few drinks before the show for some reason.
You didn't?
we were in the hallway.
Son of a... 19. Understand that you're there to collaborate. You're being evaluated in terms of how you serve the role and the material. It's not a verdict on your personhood. Judgment is something you can control. I think your personal judgment is what they're referring to. 20. What you bring in reflects how you're received, so bring in joy, conviction, and ease, and our hearts will open. 21. Share your artistry above all else. I think that's a really great one. That goes back to your unique voice, I feel like. And so that's an exciting moment, I think, for an actor. Whenever you're called in for an audition, it's your opportunity to share your take, and you should be excited about what you have to bring in and not worried, is this going to be good enough?
Yeah. And that is a lot easier said than done.
Absolutely. When it goes back to your jitters, and I want to kind of delve into this, why are you nervous?
Because as soon as I get an audition, I'm typically pretty calm about it. Because I know it's a little whiles away.
Yes.
And I work really hard on it, and I don't do anything but that. And then as soon as I get in the room, or not in the room, when I get to sit down, it almost happens as soon as I go to write my name. I just start this, and then you start seeing everybody, and I try so hard to not notice anyone else that's in the room, because as a movie lover and as a person who wants to make movies myself, I'm like, oh, that's actually a good look for that person, or I start seeing that other people are right for the role. And I'm in a weird situation where I've just lost 70 pounds.
Oh,
so
wow.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you. Well, my auditions have changed, but I still go out on a bigger girl role, and it's weird when I go out and everyone's much bigger than me, and I'm like, oh no, this used to be my thing, where I used to get these roles, and now I'm being turned away. So as soon as I see someone that's, I think is better for the role or would be good, or just any moment, I'm like, I start shaking.
Right.
I start shaking. I start getting the sweats, and it's hard.
May I say something to
Please.
that? I think that's so awesome that you're aware of it. And do you think that with that thought process, maybe to overcome it, do you think this is a possible solution? That's your verdict, and you're not the one casting it. Maybe for people who have the same problem, think about wait a minute, this is what I would be doing if I was casting the role. I am not casting. It's a completely different set of people and circumstances. So, in all honesty, I might be the right fit, or it could be all of us. And something I've changed personally whenever I go into the room and do the same thing. By the way,
Really?
I'll see people and I'll be like, yeah, I can see him in that role, or
Yeah.
I can't see you in that
Or
role.
you're in a room full of people you know.
Yeah, exactly. Or people you've seen constantly auditioning for the same stuff. But I do a thing now where it's like, okay, almost like I really don't care. It's not like I don't care about you as a person or anything like that. But I'm bringing something. I'm more focused on what I'm bringing in.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. I'm sure you're bringing something cool, but I've got something cool too.
Yeah.
Does that make
And
sense?
Absolutely. And I think that for me, it's weird because I always deep down in the deepest part of my soul, I know that this is what I was supposed to be doing, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know that no one can take that from me.
Yes.
But I think on the outside, you're still you have those little doubts.
Yeah.
But the only thing keeping me in that room is that voice inside that I know that I'm good enough. I know I've put the work in.
Yes.
But I don't know. It could be the smallest thing like that, or.
So it's a good enough issue. It's
Yeah.
it's a self-worth issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have my good days with it and my bad days. There are days where I go and audition and I know that nobody could touch me, and it's the best audition I've had. Whether or not I get it is a different story.
Right.
But the ones that I'm fully comfortable with, this is who I am. I don't have to, either it's my wheelhouse, drama, as much as you haven't seen me do a lot of drama. Drama is my everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's a lot, you could say that about a lot of comedians, because, obviously comedy stems from a very dark place. So those are things that I want to do. So if I get an audition that's very dramatic, I get 10 times more nervous because I'm like, this is what I want. This is where I want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Comedy is, much easier for me.
I think there's always that rule. I don't know if it applies to everybody, but it's it seems like you see a lot of people being cast in drama, or who are dramatic act. I almost said dramatic. Dramatic.
dramatic.
Well, it's. I feel like if you're really solid with drama, a lot of people transition easily into the comedy realm.
Really?
Well, because also if you think about comedians, like a lot of the really successful comedians have had really depressing, sad
single one of them.
lives, and all of them.
No, for
there
real.
is no
every single one of
exception.
them. I started in stand up, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you that that's the very true statement.
And
It's
but-
the jester.
Yeah.
It really is that kind of court jester feel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so sad.
Absolutely.
But that's why I feel like a lot of comedy needs to stem from drama in order for it to be heightened to that level of us being able to laugh at it. So I think if you are tending to being really more, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like solid in drama, that you can make that leap to do the comedy because you understand the core subtext of
It's just the timing issue.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you can
that's true too,
you can
yeah.
have that where it's like someone so believes it.
Yeah.
Which I think I remember hearing Ashton Kutcher used to say that when he did that 70s show is that he didn't think he was funny. He would just never deliver a line in a comedic manner. He was just completely honest and serious about it. And you were laughing because it was ridiculous what he was saying. But I think it's different when you are trying to do a timing, like a certain character where everything is based on timing or like slapstick or something like that. I think it's harder for dramatic actors to feel like they can find that pacing or find that type of vulnerability. It's a different vulnerability, I feel.
Yeah, it's absolutely different for everybody, and you guys hit on a few key issues here. But like, certain actors can reach certain emotional points much easier than others for whatever reason that may be. So, I always feel like I'm repeating myself sometimes, but it goes back to the work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the training you do. It's like, how much work have you put into it? How much work have you been putting into your craft? And as for Ashton Kutcher delivering the lines like in a very serious way, maybe he feels maybe he's delivering them super seriously, but from the outside, and if we're really breaking it down technically, it's like he's just being a little dry with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about like not being funny. Like you're not trying to be fun. Like there's difference between like you
Truthful,
have
you mean.
you have certain there's certain shows that are very like straight up like I'm being funny and you know that's fine. But there's also other shows too. I think maybe it's an approach rather than a show. But if you're gonna take a character, that's why I say drama can play into comedy, but comedy doesn't always play into drama. As from a writing
Yes.
standpoint.
Louis C.K. is
Yeah.
probably an
Yeah.
anomaly. Oh my God,
An anemone.
anomaly.
See- Anemone.
enemy.
But yeah, for the most part, I agree with you.
Yeah, because if you bring the truth to that character and you play that as a real person, and that person happens to have like a crazy reaction, like that's just their normal. Like Seinfeld, Elaine on
Yes.
Seinfeld. Every time she's just like, "Shut up!" Like that's not like she's not doing it to be funny. She just physically pushes people whenever she like freaks
Yeah.
out about something, and that's funny.
So it goes back to being
Registers.
truthful in that moment.
That's it. That's 100%
What's natural
the
and
answer.
organic.
Is,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
anything you do with that kind of honesty is going to hit, I feel.
Yeah.
Has always been the case for me, at least.
That's great. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. The Resistance is the best improv show I have seen in LA. It's an action-adventure film performed live on stage, completely improvised, fully scored. That's right, there's music that goes along with it. I have personally seen the show, and you will laugh your butt off and feel like a kid again when you see it live. You can find them online at www.resistancecomedy.com, also on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Every Sunday at 9 p.m. at Comedy Sports at 733 Seaward Street in Hollywood. Again, that's at Comedy Sports every Sunday at 9 p.m. in Hollywood. Don't miss out on some of the best live action comedy entertainment in LA. Again, that's resistancecomedy.com. And we're back. I'm looking right into the camera.
He did. It was me.
Jessica,
Yes.
as an actor in Los Angeles, there comes times where a person feels like they are down in the dumps, as I would like to say. Wah, wah. No, but seriously, what do you recall your like most negative or worst moment living out here or being as an actor?
As far as being an actor, yeah. I mean, there was a good point from huge to the middle where I wasn't getting anything. And I was really struggling with my weight and whether, because it was basically like you either need to gain 20 pounds or lose another 20 kind of thing. And it's hard for an actor because growing up, you want to be the lead, you want to be you know, the main, and that's not what you are going to be going out for.
Right.
So it's really tough to kind of figure out in yourself what it is that they're looking for in you as an actress and as a character, because
Right.
I'm definitely more of a character actor right now, but it's not what I was trained to do.
Absolutely.
You know, so that was a really tough time because I was going out for these characters and not booking them because I wasn't big enough or I wasn't small enough, you know.
What can
yeah.
I just rewind a little bit? What came the initial question, because weight is a huge thing, especially with like I should say all actors actually, because
everyone.
because any actor, when a casting director or a director or producer looks at you, they want to see what you're immediately marketable as just from the way you look. It's just the nature of the business. Some people get pigeonholed, some people can evolve. Great, but initially everybody starts off, hey, what can we sell you as the way you look? What will everybody go, yeah, you are the Midwest farm boy. Yeah, you're the sassy Latina girlfriend.
Tough.
Yeah.
Always
You
tough.
are the quirky like fat best friend or whatever. Like, so for you, like, what was your initial like selling point that you felt it like, and then why was there a certain change for you, and did that change come from you or from your reps?
Well, originally, what I started going out for was the big best friend.
Okay.
The fact that I was a female and Latina helped.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, right now specifically, they're looking for more diverse casts and things like that.
Yes.
But at first, I mean, any audition I ever went out on, it would say looking at all ethnicities. I never got cast because I was Hispanic. It was typically just from the comedy that I brought. Because I think that there's a lot of girls that look like me that choose not to do this because they don't think that they can. They
Yeah.
don't see people that look like me on TV, so they don't try. So the pool's a little bit smaller.
Gotcha.
I think I lost the weight on my own because I found out I was pre-diabetic. So I
goodness.
didn't ask anybody for their permission or what they thought
Right,
about
right.
it. I know that as an actress, I'm probably just going to be opening more doors for myself and shutting a few because some people don't think you're as funny if you lose weight.
Right.
But I did it for my health, and I will, you know,
Kudos.
make my own movies if I have to. I don't choose to let that stop me based
Right.
on what they want to cast me as.
I love that. Kudos.
You know, I love that because I knew whatever, but
not
they're
friends
still
anymore.
alive.
We're not friends anymore.
But I know a lot of people that have hindered their career because they're like, oh, I'm too heavy. Oh, I'm not ready to be put in the spotlight, or I'm not, or I want to put on more muscle to go out for these kind of roles. Where it's like, if you can be comfortable with who you are, that's like the most important thing.
Right.
To be able to go out there, because I also feel like it's an excuse. It's an excuse to hinder yourself because you're not ready on another
Right.
level.
Absolutely.
And I think that's, you know, if you can embrace who you are and not even like, I don't know, like put it aside maybe and just go after the roles that you want. Like you're just putting something in your head that's just sticking.
If you're
there.
good enough and you choose to show that, like, that special quirk about yourself that, you know, you can bring, that we talked about on that list, it's amazing. On The Middle, they weren't looking for anyone like me. On Liv and Maddie, they weren't looking for anybody like me. Like, they chose me in spite of, you know, what they wanted. And that's because I was really confident about the audition and really about the script, and I knew what to bring. And I
Yeah.
think that's so important for other actors to know, is that, like, your look is part of it, but it's not something you can control. So if you go in with, like, it's the difference between having somebody who's insecure and prepared and who's going to freak out when they get up there, or somebody who it feels good about themselves, prepared the acting because they don't care about what they can't control, and brought it to them, you know, brought it in the
Yeah.
room.
Right.
Because, I mean, the other thing, too, to think about as far as, like, from a casting perspective is, like, you could be like 30 pounds overweight and have, like, a beer belly as a dude, and you're like, oh, I don't feel confident going out for stuff because I'm not going to get booked. Well, there could be 30 chiseled guys that are going to that same audition, that one person's going to get that role. Like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Well, it's
like,
easier for guys in that way, I will tell you that. Because you can be a Vince Vaughn character where you're overweight and still adorable, and every, you know, girl would still date
That's-
you.
yeah.
For girls, it's really a lot different.
That
like,
is the double standard.
if
of
you're
Hollywood.
5 pounds overweight,
But that goes when you
It's
say
a
Vince
big
Vaughn. You know, when you say Vince Vaughn, like, he's already had the career. Like,
That's
yeah,
true,
They're
but-
already getting direct offers. You know what I mean?
right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're lovable, you know, people seem to overlook that in the men for
Yeah.
a leading part as
It is true, like-
as a girl.
Yeah.
I just feel like for the actors who are in these like really interesting phases, like back to us, like we've booked a few recurrings, and so people expect we're you know we're always working or
Yeah.
we're getting direct offers. It's funny. I have a story. Whenever I was working at California Pizza Kitchen as a server, and I was still working it on Awkward, I would have people who come in there. They would recognize me, and then they would be like, I had a table. This was the last table that said this to me, and I think I stopped going shortly after because I was like, I can't take this anymore. They're like, aren't you on a TV show? And I'm like, yeah. Awkward. They're like, yeah, what are you doing here if you're on a TV show? Don't you make enough money? And it's like, well, obviously I don't. Because
on some people. Yeah,
You know?
we're not different. I waited tables on the first whole season of Liv and Maddie, every season of The Middle.
Yeah.
And I got the exact same thing. It was, here's your burger and I'll take a picture with your kids. And you know, that's a really hard thing to deal with because people think you're making a lot of money
Yeah.
or, you know, it's
it's the silver lining. I mean, it always keeps you grounded because after
Oh,
you book a
yeah.
role, it's like you're working on set. You're like, oh, I got my shift Friday coming up. You know what I mean? But you know,
I think that's a small, that's another victory to take in, though, is that you're recognizable from television as well, though. As much as, like, that kind of
Yeah.
question about your money is none of anybody's business.
I know, but
Yes,
I can't tell you. People think they know you because they watch you on TV and they feel like they
Yeah.
can talk to you about things like that.
but again, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the whole point of me bringing this up was because the way you start auditioning, you know, you're in this kind of transitional phase into a more steady career, hopefully, and yes, knock on
Knock
wood.
on every wood surface.
This is real.
It's real. It's just not real wood. Is that what you're saying?
Our careers are real.
Is this real life?
Our careers are real. Is this real life?
None of this is happening right now.
No, but for me, my perspective on auditioning has changed in the most positive way possible since I've been lucky enough to go out a lot and understand the business more. And it's made me more comfortable with my unique voice, with my unique taste, with my unique perspective on whatever character I get invited to audition or perform with. I think the biggest struggle is finding that confidence and that self-worth. I think that a lot of actors always ask themselves, because if you book a job, let's say a commercial, and then you have to go back to your day job, your serving job, it's like, man, am I worth it? You know, it's that am I worth it question. And I think there should be no shame whenever you have to go back to work.
No, absolutely not. I think I was proud of myself for doing it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no shame in working any job. You know, if you're working hard, it doesn't. You should be proud of that.
Yeah. I wish I would have. I think it was more an annoyance, but I wish I was more like, yeah, I'm still serving tables because I have to make money. What do you do for a living? How much money do you make a year? Like,
Also
you know, like
because
Yeah.
you're working, but you know you're following your dream. How many people can say that they're doing that? You know,
Yeah.
Most people, like, I'm from Florida. A lot of my friends are still there that wanted to do this. You know, it's tough, but you just have to keep remembering that you're so much closer to what you want.
How do you get out of that? How do you stay on? How do you keep yourself accountable then? How do you personally
Now
keep
that
on
I'm
track?
not serving,
or just in general,
accountable for my actions or like my.
for staying on track in your professional career and not becoming negative and in your own head?
You know what? I've started meditating. I got my aura read. I've become so much more of a spiritual person and realizing how much positivity really affects your whole life.
Yes.
And I've helped manifest so many positive things in my life, and I'm going to continue to do that. Like, I lost weight cold turkey. I was a smoker. I've quit that cold turkey.
wow.
Like, I've tried to just make me the person I've always said I wanted to be. I think that it's easy for you to go, when I'm 25 or when I'm 30, I'm going to be here. And if you're not doing anything to put you in that direction, then you really can't complain that you're not there. So I just decided that I need to take the right steps to get what I want and to manifest it.
I love that.
Meditation is kind of
It is
another
key.
theme in our episodes as well.
I will say, especially if you're in a place like here or like LA or New York or like a major city too, like there's so many people around you. If you're trying to just center yourself, it is not an easy task to do.
Absolutely, and you have to be like one with yourself because there's
Yeah.
so much noise. There's so many people telling you that what you want to do is unattainable and you're not worthy enough. So if you can't be your number one fan, you're never going to achieve what you want
Yeah.
to.
Absolutely. You know, I think on the next episode, we're gonna how to meditate, I think, is a big thing.
Yeah.
Because there's different ways
Yeah.
for everybody, and also there's something moving meditation where
Oh.
we used to do in martial arts, where whenever we do our forms,
Mm-hmm.
that's a type of moving meditation where all you're focused on is the next.
Like katas?
movement. Yeah, exactly.
We're like the same person. I took martial arts too.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. What
Crazy.
kind of martial arts?
Basaite.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
I've heard that once before.
Yeah. I honestly, I did it for 10 years, but I couldn't.
Awesome.
I mean, I know my katas still.
Oh, good. Yeah. Katas. No, but also like a simple walk is a moving meditation as well, because it's a very simple and you know the movement. You don't have to think about walking. So whenever you're walking in the park, you're kind of like going over your mind. But I think for our next episode, I'd like to do a how-to meditation thing.
Wait, there's more episodes. We're not done.
My producer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Always ready to work.
We should like hashtag our episodes. They should be like hashtag you're worth it.
That's our social medias.
Right?
Right?
Bam.
There you go.
Get on it, Nicole.
And hashtag you totally are. I want to give you a big hug.
Hashtag swagger.
Oh man, you ruined it right there. The hashtag swagger.
I know.
Thanks for listening to the
Yeah,
show.
that was.
This is our
everyone
last
just
episode.
Turned it off.
No,
Hashtag
just kidding.
swagger.
I'd like to play. I'd like to play a game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Speaking of hashtags. Maybe we should just call it based off of how the hashtags are for this. Wait, why am I opening Twitter? Where am I?
Jordan,
I'm
we have a
waking up
wonderful game
finally.
to play with Jessica. I'm vamping right now
Ooh.
while Jordan opens it up. It's a little bit more difficult to do on a podcast to vamp. I've realized.
You're doing well.
You think so?
I feel vamped.
You feel vamped?
Yeah.
Vampinated.
Jordan,
I am vamp.
would you like to explain the game?
Are you
Um,
texting?
I have to take this. This is actually someone more important, guys. I'll be right back.
God?
Oh, this is off the
I
rails.
told you. I doubt it.
All right. This game, we have 3 tweets that have gone out. They are awkward descriptions of movies. I don't know if you were listening and then
I was
on the
and
last
I got
session.
A couple.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Okay.
like, went,
So these are
this
fun.
up.
These are yeah. It was a difficult one. But these are kind of a little bit more fun.
Okay, good.
Do
I win something?
Oh,
our love and affection.
I had that from the get.
She's right. How did she know that?
I was hoping.
um,
I'm kidding.
now I feel we're obligated.
Right?
No. What is that?
I don't have any change
You
in
get
my
to leave.
pocket.
If you get them right, you get to leave.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't want to
The
leave.
door is locked.
I want to stay for meditation talk.
Come play a game with us. That's what it should just be called. Can we make that the segment opener?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it should be
I
both of
wasn't
us.
even
Both of us.
listening to anything you just said. Nicole
No.
said something, and I was.
Both of us
Austin,
at the
what do you
same
say?
time.
Oh,
We.
Oh,
We should both be like.
give the pre-diabetic chocolate. This is a great message. I'm just kidding.
a spoonful of sugar
Makes Jessica go down.
Cheers.
Jessica go down.
Can that be a hashtag?
No.
We're just gonna.
That could be horrible.
We're gonna have an insulin shot ready for you.
Horrible.
No,
Gabe, thanks for the sound cue.
Right?
That-
Yeah.
I thought somebody's phone was going off. I was like, somebody turn that off,
I think
please.
both of us at the same time should just be like, "Come play with us."
Oh wow.
Shining. No, okay,
I
bye.
guess The Shining.
God.
Shining
That made
for
me sound
200.
really inappropriate. Okay. I'm sorry.
Just
Thanks,
now?
Sam.
I got what
Just-
you're doing.
yeah.
I just didn't know how to
Okay.
react.
You never do.
Not a good actor.
So did
I didn't know how to
win?
react.
Whoa, headphones.
Did I win the game?
We haven't played the game.
Oh, The
Not
Shining.
done.
The Shining.
All right, here we go. The first one is from @Milo_music. I don't know if you wanted me to say it like that.
He's my friend.
We don't know. White girl steals African children's food to make another skinny white girl fat.
Me girls.
Bam!
Whoa!
That
on.
was good.
What?
Ooh. Ringtone, whatever. It works.
That was pretty good.
Wee Sam wants to do the other two.
Yes.
Okay.
Taking
Oh man,
my,
I feel like
stealing
they're
my
gonna be
thunder.
like some kind of French film now.
These are kind of a little bit more.
Mon se
La viande rouge.
quand elle est toi. Why are you saying them in French?
This one is completely in Spanish.
From @_Aaron Copeland.
Copland?
Copland, probably? You think
I
so?
don't know.
Way to overpronounce that.
Copland, they're really into Stallone.
Copila and
This is the last time you're reading these.
man takes advantage of kids with special needs. Hashtag. Oh, yeah. That's it.
Oh, is it is it that movie with what's his nuts?
What's his nuts? I'm stealing that.
What's his name?
Hashtag
What's his
nuts?
name? The guy from Jackass. Right? Am I not right?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You're thinking
The
of
Ringer.
The Ringer. Is it not The Ringer?
No.
Okay, can
No.
you read it one more time?
Man takes advantage of kids with special needs. Special needs.
Special makes me think of.
Think of it more broad, more mainstream.
Yeah.
Whoa, I feel like this is a really evil. We got X's. It's a world. X's. You're swimming? Are you swimming? Mind swimming? Kids with special needs. Guys, I'm not really good at this. You're hitting me.
Ching, ching.
Oh, X-Men?
Yes.
Oh, special needs.
Yes.
Oh.
It was tricky.
It should be
Tricky one.
special talents.
Oh.
They don't need anything. They got something.
Then it wouldn't be as fun.
But
well,
they have
I don't want to
needs.
say funny. It's
They have
not
needs.
PC or something. I don't know.
I have special
I'm sorry.
needs. They can like walk through walls.
Okay.
We do not intend to make fun of any. anyone.
This is another one that's kind of has a sexual innuendo to
Yeah,
it
you
too.
wanted to read them.
I bet
so.
you
I think I think they're hilarious.
Something about
At we can't name we can't say the
we will name that afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, it gives away the whole thing.
They're like really into this movie.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Noseless guy with an unhealthy obsession with a teenage boy.
Noseless guy,
Yeah, with an unhealthy obsession with a teenage boy.
but he's noseless.
Yeah.
Careful.
He has no nose.
No nose.
I might need a. Can I phone a friend?
We shouldn't say this guy's name. That's all I know.
The opposite of Foxcatcher.
He doesn't really.
We shouldn't say his name.
He
That's
doesn't-
what
the only thing you
I'm
say
scared.
no nose, I think of John C. Riley's movie where he couldn't smell all of a sudden. Walk hard.
Oh no, not that one.
He's a snake.
He's got no nose. He's a
He's
snake.
kind of snaky guy.
Is it Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Guys, that's a very interesting description
go.
for Harry
It
Potter.
was
Right.
at Harry Potterings. That's the Twitter handle at Harry Potterings.
I might have given it away.
Yeah.
A little bit. Did you tweet that? Is that your other Twitter handle? Did
Talk about it.
I win?
You
I
did.
won.
Won.
You won.
A
You won.
spoonful of sugar.
Ah!
She is on the floor. I have called the medics.
By the way, my youngest brother Daniel Quiche,
Mm-hmm.
doing a shout out for him. He is probably one of the funniest people I know, if not the funniest. You should go see
thank
his Twitter handle, which changes, or his Instagram handle, which changes constantly. I have a connecting bridge with this. Don't worry.
He's my brother.
He
Not in the notes. Oh, I'm sorry.
that's Siri. He used to eat butter, just the stick. Just go. I'm just eating a stick of butter and
Ugh.
a spoonful of sugar. Literally a spoon of sugar, and be like, "It's so good." I'm like,
I'm the one that got
Oh!
diabetes. This kid's walking around fine and he's funny.
he's been working out recently, and honestly, he's getting into shape.
Does he still eat butter sticks?
No, I
That should
hope
be a
not.
nickname.
Butter
sticks.
At butter sticks.
Sorry, I have to tell this quick side story. I have a friend who is a nutritionist, and she
eats sticks of butter?
no, but she works at this hospital, and these they have patients come in, and one of the women came in with her son. She's like talking about her diet. She's like, oh, we eat greens at dinner. We do this. She's like, I don't even know why these people are so heavy. And at the end of it, she's like, and then after school we like to have a snack where we'll take a stick of butter and dip it in sugar, and they'll eat a stick of butter in sugar a day.
Wait, I'm sorry. The nutritionist says this?
No. They're like the nutritionist. She's just like, I don't understand. Like she's telling her the whole diet,
I'm
and it sounds
sorry.
all normal until
Yeah.
the very end of it. And she's like, yeah, and then we have a stick of butter after school where we dip it in sugar, and then we eat it. And I'm like, that is horrible. She's like, no, stop, do not do that.
That
Like,
doesn't
why?
even sound like I would understand if
Oh.
you're like I went and got like 12 donuts or something
Yeah,
delicious,
right?
but like a stick
Sat in
of
the
butter and
bathroom
sugar sounds
cried.
gross.
Like, I don't know, like-
You would think that, but my mom makes a wonderful peach pie, and there's a lot
God.
of butter.
Yeah,
in it.
but you're
there's
not
peaches
eating
in it.
a
And-
pile of
But
butter.
whenever you get the flour and you have to like mix it in with like the melted butter, and
Yeah.
then you put a bunch of sugar in with a little bit of vanilla,
It's
that by
probably
itself,
delicious
that
then.
dough, oh my gosh, it is like crack, and it is the most tasteful thing I have ever eaten.
Did I win that?
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good right now. Mom, can you send me a frozen
Yeah,
peach pie?
exactly.
Mom?
can you send me crack?
Blink twice if you said yes.
We had different childhoods.
We had different childhoods. We're wrapping up shortly. This has been such a fun
Yeah.
and very very insightful podcast, especially in the world of auditioning. I think one of the things I want to reiterate is, be yourself and be confident in yourself. And a way to become confident, if you are not, work,
Yeah.
train, make mistakes in the training. Find what's, you need to work on and make yourself better. That way, when you go to audition, hey, I did the work. I'm comfortable. So
I agree with training 100%. Like I go to class every week. I haven't stopped since I moved out here.
that's great.
And you have to. Like it's a craft, and it's like being an athlete. You have to work it out.
Yeah.
Or else you'll be in a room and just be like, I don't know what to do. Like you lose all your choices. It's horrible.
Yeah. You feel out of
shape.
Yeah, out of
Yeah.
shape. If people would like to find you on the interweb,
I'm here.
what?
Good sir. I would like to actually ask you, tell me your worst audition.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
there has to be like a terrible story. I wanna
Actually,
hear
it was a chemistry read. Can I explain my horrible chemistry read?
Please do.
Okay. So I was told by a producer that I know, who will remain nameless, obviously, that he was offering me a role. And I was like, sweet! I've never been offered a role before. This is great. So he's like, awesome. He's like, you just have to, meet the director. I was like, awesome. So I did that. And then he was like, okay, come back again. We're going to do a chemistry read. And I was like, awesome. He's like, bring a headshot and resume. And I was like, what? Okay, sure. All right, they want a headshot and resume. I thought I was offered. That's typically for an audition, but okay, yeah. So we go in for the chemistry read, and it's a bunch of people that I've known that have been in other TV shows, and like we all got to know each other. It was really cool. So we're standing in the room, and they're like, okay, do this scene. I'm like, all right. They give us the wrong scene, and some of us are there that aren't in that scene, but they didn't assign other characters. So like I'm in the middle, and I'm like saying somebody's name. I'm gonna say it's John, and I'm like, John, and there is no John. There's no one, and I'm looking at the casting people, and they're just staring at me, and I'm just like, okay. And I just looked at this guy, and I was like, can you be John? And he's like, yeah. So then, like, he read John. Like, they didn't stop us at all. Like, I didn't think anybody gave their
What?
best performance because we had no direction whatsoever.
So who was? This pisses me off. Actually,
It was horrendous, and it was just people staring at us, not like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, we're gonna do that again. You're gonna be playing John, and like typically at a chemistry read for people that don't know, like they're talking you through it. This
Yeah.
is where you are in the script. You two are at this point. Like, you want to feel comfortable, and you want your actors to feel comfortable. It's a chemistry read, That did not happen. They didn't know what was going on. They were telling us wrong scenes, wrong
my
everything.
God.
So I will say, like, you almost sometimes have to be more prepared than the people making the movie sometimes, or the show. It was, my performance was horrible because I felt like I had to direct everyone else because people were just standing there staring. I was like, is this a test?
Nobody said anything?
No one said anything. It was like a panel of like American Idol, and you had just finished, and they were just like staring at you. It was the craziest thing I've ever been on.
So you just started like doing your slap.
That is so unprofessional.
It was the weirdest
That
thing.
actually makes me
That's awful.
very upset.
It made me so mad because I loved the script and I really wanted to be a part of it, but I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
That's
scared
rough.
of whatever. And it was on location, going to be out somewhere else. And I was like, I'm not going to go.
Stuck with those people.
And that's another thing that's so difficult is you have to think of it as a business.
Yeah.
And that's like the hardest thing for an actor, I think, when you first come out here from somewhere else is like, oh my God, it's a business. There are so many things I have to do in order to succeed. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's a game. Gotta play it.
Well, that's great. Like, but the best part about that is it may have been an awkward, awful experience, but you kind of seized the moment to take responsibility and like their responsibility, And at the very least, it shows that you're confident enough to take control of that room if they're not giving you anything.
And I think that has a lot to do with just wanting to, loving this so much and wanting to be a part of everything. Like, I want my own production company someday.
Yeah.
So it's like actually a good situation to be in, to have to be like, no, this is how this works. I've always been like someone who had to be in
Right.
control of what was going on.
Yeah.
Can I offer or suggest a name?
Please.
A spoonful of sugar for the production? No, that shouldn't be it.
No. I was thinking of Shaka Khan has my birthday productions because she does.
Oh my God, I love that.
What?
Right? Shaka Khan. She has
Oh!
my birthday
Shaka Khan has my birthday.
coming up the 23rd. So make sure you wish me a happy birthday.
March 23rd?
Yeah.
What? Anything special?
I think I want to go to Disneyland.
I've only been there once.
I've only
I
been
love
there
it.
once because I'm
Disney
from
World.
Disney World.
Yeah,
Like,
Disney World's like
born and raised at Disney
Yeah,
World.
it's so much better.
So, but actually, I think Disneyland's great for adults because it's like you can do everything in one day.
Yeah.
How do we get to talking about this? Anyway,
I think that's
I'm
a good
thinking of
name.
Disneyland.
I think you should not tell people the productions part, so that if you're in an interview and they're like, "Oh, what's your production company?" You're like, "Shaka Khan has my birthday,"
and that's it.
and just
I
don't
just
even.
walk
They'll
away.
be like,
Drop the mic.
That's not what I asked."
Then you're bringing a mic
I
to
feel
the
like I would
audition?
have to pay her like a
Just drop
bajillion dollars every time it came up, though, too. But at least she'll know, right? Maybe I could spell it different. But I do want her to come up and be like, Shaka! And then it like goes into whatever it is.
Oh, does she disappear?
yes.
Like
she
a-
just
like
won't.
a ninja?
She dissipates into the
She
wind
gets
like
in a
dust.
spacecraft and just goes off.
She's like a
That's
death. She's a
costly.
death. She's a Death Eater.
I knew it. She's a Death Eater. Whatever.
We've
that
come
was
full
you
circle.
at
That's
Harry
gonna be my
Potter.
production company. Shaka Khan is the Death Eater. I'll
.org.
probably pay her a little bit more money.
Oh man.
But
Jessica,
yes.
thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
on the show
Sam. This
today.
has been great.
We've had a lot of useful things come out of it, and
Good.
I'm glad. I'll send your reps the thank you letter.
Thank you. Your people talk to my people.
It's been good. I feel like I just graded your paper and gave you an A+. I don't know why.
Thank you. Well, this could be
No, it's
nerve-wracking. You guys
it's
are
been
great.
very helpful auditioning, telling our audition stories and facts.
sorry.
I
Fun
hope
facts.
So thank you.
Fun facts.
I am winding down.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you like auditions?
Me? Yeah, I love auditions. It's great. I think it's you have to
still
love
get
it.
nervous?
No.
Really?
Yeah. It's just stopped becoming nervous. Like
I want
I-
to get there.
I took acting classes, which made me more confident in just interviews.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of like getting up in front of people, or public speaking too. I had a
Yeah.
huge fear of public speaking, and I took 2 years of acting class, and now I have no
That's
problem.
crazy. I would never
I-
think you would. I
Right.
didn't think that of you.
Thank you.
yeah, it's become an irrational thing. By the way, how to overcome the nervousness. What's the point?
I feel that way too. I don't want it, and I think I just have to master that part of my brain where I don't let it physically show.
Yeah.
Because like I'll get my palms are sweaty.
I'll just do whatever I want to do. Sometimes like yawning is
Mm-hmm.
a big thing I like to do.
Me too. I totally agree with that.
And if I want to walk around or stretch, I will use whatever space I need to walk around or stretch.
If I want to hit people,
I
will
won't be
hit
rude though.
people.
I won't be rude.
No.
You know, if somebody goes, "Hey, how are you?" I'm good.
Oh yeah, I don't like it
Yeah.
when people like try and psych you out like that and like not be nice. Like, what's the point in that?
yeah.
I haven't had that in a while, but I have experienced that. And you just look at that person. I've seen it done to another actor, and when the actor went in the room, the guy was like talking trash about him. I'm like, man, what an asshole you are.
Awful. You know, I will say though, I have a situation with someone I know, but they just seem like a very downer person all the time, and I've really come to realize that like whatever your negative energy is, like I will not feed into it. I
No.
will not like, and so I've now created. Yeah, I don't want to mention.
He's not pointing
names.
any fingers
Let's
at
call
anyone.
him Key Sam Weish.
I think I've met him.
I wonder how much money he makes. I think he's on TV.
He's stunning.
No, but like it's just pushing that negative energy, because if you give into that and they see that, it just gives them that feeling of like, if you block that, it tends to just dissipate on its own, and you keep going full steam ahead.
Absolutely.
Choo choo.
Jessica, are you on the interweb?
I am.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
Please find me at Twitter at Jess Marie Garcia. Not Maria, Marie Garcia.
Marie.
And at Instagram at Jess_M_Garcia, because there are
Great.
30,000 Jessica Garcias in the world.
Is that a common name?
It is, and I've met a Jessica Garcia, and if you Google just Jessica Garcia, there are many mugshots of other Jessica Garcia. I don't have one, I promise, but there are several others.
That's
Your
awesome.
representation took care of that.
They did. The mouse got rid of all that.
Jordan, thanks for co-hosting with me, man.
All day long. I don't know if that answered your question. That wasn't a question. This has been great. What were you saying to me?
At Jordan Burbank 7.
At Jordan Burbank 7.
Are there
That's
6
gonna
more?
change.
There's 6 more. That was the best
this
one.
clone
yet.
thing they did, it wasn't going well.
Nicole Boucher, our social medias are. Thank you. At Nikki.
Pop in. Can you say
952?
anything? Does that work?
Yeah, it's 592. You always do that.
Last episode, I got it right. 592. Big thanks to GVB Radio. And you can
Check
find
us out, gvbstudios.com.
Yeah.
Woo.
New website, new fresh look.
Looking good.
Big thanks to Gabe. You can find his personal Facebook page. No, I'm kidding.
His phone number
is-
His social security number.
Big thanks to also GVB Radio as an entity for hosting us. You can find me at WeSamKish for Twitter and Instagram, WeSamKish.com. Our podcast Twitter is podcastaa, ActorsAnonymouspodcast.com. We're also on Instagram and the Facebook. Check us out. Like the Facebook.
It used to be called the Facebook.
And the MySpace.
Oh, we're not on the MySpace yet.
Because no one else is.
No, I'm kidding. Like us, subscribe, share, and we'd love to hear from you. Ask us your questions, concerns, what you liked, what you disliked, if you think Jordan should stay or go.
2 votes yes, 1 vote no.
Tweet us game material. We will mention you on our show.
We will.
We will. My voice got really loud right there.
And always remember to listen, think, and then talk.
Oh, right.